So, what do we have here? Any guesses? Any guesses? So, this is sort of a mystery box here. So, the listing, I got this for $19, and looking through Xboxes, obviously, and this one was just a motherboard. At least that's what the photo was. The title said Zephyr Motherboard, working, tested. It also said with heat sinks, fan, and shield, which I'm assuming they mean the fan shroud. Shield, I think of the metal frame. The photos, the first one, right off the bat, I see a light-on DVD daughter board. And I'm like, a Zephyr with a light-on DVD drive. Weird. And then looking further at the photo, which again, it was just a motherboard. The other parts listed in the title was not there. It was just a motherboard and daughter board. I also noticed it had these capacitors. These blue ones. Short aluminum. And I'm like, again, on a Zephyr? And then I was able to look at another photo that sort of had a dark image of the power socket, and it did confirm, I was about 99% because it was still very dark, that it was a Jasper. So I'm like, well, a Jasper with all those other things, hopefully with like X-clamps and everything, for 19 bucks. Absolutely. So we picked it up, and here it is. Let's go ahead and slice it open and see what's actually in here. I kind of hope it's a Falcon, just for giggles. Now I should say, I had planned to put this Jasper into the Galaxy build and hopefully put that together right now and test it out and have it listed. So now that I have jinxed it, this should be very interesting. Okay, it is a motherboard. It is a 360. I do see aluminum. There is definitely nothing else. It is just like the photos, which, okay. And oh boy, this is very shiny. Okay, so this is definitely from the photos. Light on. And it also had that sticker on there, which is pretty cool. They labeled the colors there, which is awesome. Definitely in need of a little dusting, but it's not too bad. Chips look pretty good. Definitely a good amount of goop around there. It looks old and probably annoying to get off, but the tops of the chips look nice and clean, so, and there you go. Verified Jasper. So a little anticlimactic, but now we need to clean this up, get some heat sinks on here, put it in a frame, and get it together enough to test out. So that is going to bring us to these guys. Why do I have these back? Well, worked out another little trade deal with our friend Mr. Jacob R. Obviously, this is the exact build I made, what, almost 2 years ago at this point. That was my personal system for a little while. Used it a ton and then sold it on eBay. He bought it. The video, in my eyes, famous compared to my other stuff. And the ridiculous clown build with all the just crazy stuff going on. Completely random. The fully stickered back piece, the Statue of Liberty, completely random paint. So we worked out a deal to trade in the R2-D2 water-cooled Slim for these two and cash. So part of that deal, though, was that I'm actually giving him one of these back. I'm just rebuilding it, and so basically we're kind of combining these, and I'm keeping everything else. Now, most of what you see I am pretty much keeping. This is the board that we're going to rebuild and send back to him. This is the Blades JTAG Zephyr, and it is the true Blades, so it really doesn't play many games unless you're going to update it and get rid of blades or do further modifications. And that is why I think it's a great system for this kind of deal, because obviously he's not looking to buy a 360 to play. It'd be more of a collection piece and mainly for a video. And we're going to kind of play into the Blades thing and do a full Blades theme on that. Now that is not what today's video is about. However, I do need heat sinks for the board that we have just opened up. And I know for sure this has... one, it has 2 copper heat sinks, which is great, and it has X clamps. And I should mention real quick, this one, this great working Jasper, very quiet, super solid disk drive that I've personally used quite a lot. He's featured it in a couple videos. That is going to go in our Jawbreaker custom shell. So obviously we're taking the water block off of this one. It's going to go on here, and we're going to put this board and DVD drive in the Jawbreaker. Yeah, before I do that, I definitely need to plug it in real quick, make sure everything's good. Okay, it has booted. Blades. Remember, this is the JTAG Blades, I already said that. I'll be honest, I don't think this was pushed down all the way, and it was just sitting here, powered on, not doing nothing, and I'm like, oh, that could be a huge problem. But we're all good. Got the Kronos Jasper in here with these heat sinks on. I saved the copper CPU heatsink. I mean, this is a Jasper. I'd rather keep those copper ones because I only have one other one for the older boards. And we are also going to leave the extra gooey sticker on there and the sticker up top here that you can see in the Jacob R video. We are going to put the pink ring of light. We're going to leave that in here for now. I want to see what that looks like over the faceplate. Do we have a lot of parts? Now this disk drive and obviously motherboard is going to be in the Blades build. We also have hard drive shell, which we'll probably reuse to paint for this same build. We have this top vent that's still in pretty good shape, painted with all of the color shift pearl. We actually have the ghost case eject button, which goes with the Vader shell. So does this clear faceplate, actually. And this, I think I'm actually going to use in this client build over here. I have the wood faceplate, and this was actually a pretty cool one because it seems just a lot darker than usual ones. They're obviously all slightly different with different wood grains and whatnot. And a bunch of random fans and stuff. Now, speaking of the Jacob R video, I should probably point out what was going on with the overheating. Obviously pointed out the screws were loose, but I think part of it was the actual bolts that go into these and then into the other screws was loose, or at least one of them was, so much so that when he retightened it, it actually separated that quite a bit from the motherboard. Like there's at least a space there, and that screw was was bottomed out on this side, but on this side it wasn't screwed in all the way there. So honestly, I was almost hoping it would not necessarily overheat a red ring, but get hot enough to trigger the temperature display, which had a really annoying alarm on it, and that was kind of the goal there. But yeah, anyway, we looked past that. We tightened them up very tight, obviously, on these heat sinks, and same with the screws on the other side, so they should be nice and solid on there. I don't see any weird gaps or anything happening this time. And if anything, we did prove this board is a tank, because it was just fine, and after retightening them and powering on real quick, it seemed fine. We got the top on, faceplate, and I threw a already put together light on drive. Don't know what it's from. I'm pretty sure I tested them recently, but I forgot. I keep forgetting to label stuff. And then I have 2 more over here that are pretty dirty, but hey, we'll see which one works the best. First, let's make sure it turns on. Alrighty. And you know that pink with the paint over top, I painted over this and the ring, everything. It really does give it more of a purple vibe, which is awesome. That's perfect. So we're going to use that one because I really want to use the half purple, half pink one that's in this one, in the jawbreaker build. Make sure this works. Absolutely nothing. That's not a good sign. Hopefully it's just the DVD drive. It might be unplugged, honestly, on the inside. I just saw that it was together. But why don't we hook up a controller real quick and make sure if it works from there, then something's wrong here. Alright, here we go. Open tray. Oh, that's not good. Oh. Wait a minute. Do I just have to push it harder? I'm a little confused. We don't have the whole shell on, so there's a chance this isn't pressing well enough. Alright, I guess it seems if I just push a little bit harder, it should be good. So let me put a movie in there and see if this disk drive works. If it does, we'll open it up, clean it out, check our belt, and get this thing put together. Unfortunately, it loaded right up. It's very quiet, but then this pulled up. Ha ha ha. Got our specified passcode. I thought it came up as a Halo Xbox, but I had that one already added from a while back when I had to do the same thing. This one just said unspecified 360 Elite. So anyway, let's go reset this real quick. Alright, just put in the code. Resetting. Oh, whoa. Alright, let's put in this PG-13 parental controlled movie where someone drives a little fast and inhales a bunch of nitrous. Hooray! Now we know this is all good. Let's go ahead and put our daughter board into this disk drive. This drive is super clean. Awesome. Don't have to do a bunch of cleaning. This board looks pretty good too. There's definitely, almost touched that, I got scared. There was a still good amount of solder on all those points, and like I said, they're all labeled, which doesn't matter, we got this one already in here anyway. So, oh geez, all we gotta do is pop it off, slide this one in, and test it out, make sure it's good, and not drop it. This is back together. We've got our 3-pin connector plugged in, we've got our LED strip. This is not the exact same one that was in here with the auction, which, by the way, if you missed that, it ended at like $40, and the person said, I didn't bid $40. So basically they changed their mind and wanted to make up stuff, but it's okay, because everything happens for a reason, and this is going to be a lot better, and we now have a Jasper Chronos in here. Anyway, this LED strip is awesome. It's going to come with a remote. I made sure to put the sensor part right where these holes are, at the top, so that covers that up pretty well. Now, last thing I want to do is make sure to cover these holes either from this side with something or just something that kind of goes across here, because obviously we have kind of frosted windows in all the little holes we drilled, just like that. But, oop, geez. But there's nothing behind these holes, and the LEDs behind there are really bright, and I want that all to be smooth, so let's fix that real quick. Got our top piece on. Let's go ahead and put the back piece on. Top and bottom vents. Oh, we need some rubber feet. Now, before we put the faceplate on, there's a couple things we got to do. Obviously, we fully painted over this, which is fine. It actually gives a cool effect to the Ring of Light color, as well as it just really adds to the color shifting effect there. And obviously, we painted over this, which is also fine. As you can see there, still see right through the infrared. It's still going to connect just fine. I already did that. And although these doors will not work, one of them does have a spring, but it doesn't quite come back all the way, and this one, the little peg broke off, but I really want those chrome ones on there. It's going to add to the chrome here as well as the hard drive, which we will get to in a second. But I'm just going to add a little dab of hot glue there just to keep these from getting pushed open and then not being able to come closed without taking the faceplate off. That way it doesn't damage it, and if the person does want to use it, they can still take that off. And this door here, it looks like we just have the usual problem there of the little peg breaking off that holds the spring. So I can just go get a spring, and we got a little twisty tie, and we can make that work, no problem. Got our twist tie slid through the spring, and yes, I left the outer part on there, just makes it a little more snug. Then you're going to put this spring back in place, and this only works if the problem is that that little peg broke off. And there we go, just kind of wrap it underneath there. It takes a minute, and twist it at the bottom, and that won't interfere with how it connects. There's like two little clips that go on either side, and this just kind of sits in that little groove there. So we can finally put this on. As I said, these won't be usable, but this should work. So we'll take this tape off and put it on, test it out. Definitely have to wipe this down quite a bit when we're done, but that's working. As I said, those are shut. That's clicking. That's clicking. Door opening, closing. Beautiful. And hard drive. I need to actually find one to put with this. I gotta see what I have. Alright, here it is, our hard drive. The XCM all chrome hard drive. So this will be the cool little item that comes with this, besides obviously the paint and the nice motherboard. Seems to work pretty well. But it looks like I'm mostly just have 20 gigabyte hard drives. I don't want to put just a 20 in there. I want to put something a little bit more than that. And all I have other than that is a 120, and I want to use the 120 on the Jawbreaker. I think that one should have a little bit bigger hard drive. So this one should have a 60. This was in the eyeball Xbox. Okay, so this actually also was a 120, so we're just going to swap the whole internals over. We're even going to swap this over with the LEDs on it, even though there's not a window in this. There are vents, and they are bright enough LEDs. They should be. You'll see a little glow there, especially with the chrome. It should reflect pretty nicely because it really is inside and out chrome, and even this bottom piece is not metal. I thought it was metal, but maybe just the button was, but I used that in something else. So we're going to use the purple button that was on here. Nice little contrast, plus ties it in anyway between the silver and the chrome. It struggled a little bit, if you can tell by the fingerprints. This is still a very cool piece. Doesn't fit great. Definitely a snug fit to get on there, but it is aftermarket, and I think it looks fantastic on there. Alright, let's plug it in, and then we got one more thing to change on the controller. A little bit of blue, purple going on. Now, I did already have LEDs in here, and I plan on putting a clear front bezel, but I'm going to use that for something else. And I ended up just pointing the LEDs towards these clear triggers, and it actually works really well. The only problem is these triggers, this button doesn't seem to want to click, so we're going to swap these out for some clear ones. Maybe the light from the LEDs will light those up a little bit as well, and then we should be good to go. The Galaxy 360. Alright, obviously need a microfiber. Clean it all off. We got those buttons on our controller. Click very nicely. The clear stuff always works really nice. Now there is already one issue. Something's up with this D-pad. You have to push left pretty aggressively. And I don't know, it just feels kind of loose and whatnot. I do have another purple one. It's in worse shape. But after covering this up and pretending it's black, I think that's going to be the move. We'll just put a regular black one in there. We'll just have this little bit of color here, and as you turn the controller, just like the system, it gets more colorful. So we're gonna go ahead and power it up, throw a movie in, make sure we're still good. We're gonna go with a rated R movie this time. Really make sure there's no parental lock, and then we will game on it. If it's all good, we'll fix those last couple things. I also actually want to change the blue LEDs in the hard drive to some color changing ones that I should get tomorrow. I'm going to use that in some other builds as well. And the next time you see this build, it will be in the sale listing video. There we go. And these LEDs do default to this setting. But obviously, we've got our remote here. Go white, blue, and you do have to be sort of close. But as I said, this is a cheaper set of LEDs, and it's connected to a 3-pin, so you could upgrade it yourself if you'd like. And there's all these fade modes. And this one also has a music mode. And when the fans were on full 12 volts, when I tested these out, here we go, they were just flashing like crazy. But as you can see, and it's got several different variations of that. One other thing I noticed is I thought the eject button on the actual motherboard wasn't working. It works fine from here, but for some reason you just have to kind of push it downwards a little bit and it opens just fine. And obviously we got it in the upright position. Best place to test it out. If it works like that, it should work just fine in the other position. Looks like there was actually some profiles on the system itself. There was like 3 or 4 on there. There we go, no parental lock. Central intelligence. We'll let this movie play through, make sure everything's good. Sweet. Still good here. Still good. Lights are still lighting. Let's put a game in. After all this, it's not the right DVD board. That would not be fun. Sweet. I think. Uh-oh. There we go. Cool. Alrighty, it's not on fire, it's not smoking. Feels about the same as when the movie was playing. So that's it. We're going to fix those last couple things. Next time you see it, we'll be on the listing video. And next up, we have the Jawbreaker 360. And then we will have the individual build videos of everything coming up. Bumblebee, Barricade, Liquid Metal, Kenobi, all that stuff. But that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching.